This is Kessben 93.3 FM, a new wave of excellence in radio.
Lawyer Kwaba.
Yeah,
But over microphone here, Parliament. Where the Tribe one up.
okay.
The Emporia there.
Yes, I don't.
Lawyer Dominic Brenya and what's Nasino and Professor Kwaku Mensah Mauto and so called University of Professional Studies. Omo graduate for no Omudin. Graduate studies, Omudin, Penimpa, Prof. Akwaba.
Thank you.
Nampomia there.
Adumarakwa.
No, some about president voice. Any issues, no. Boy and Kakra. Makin can be, but you're lawyer for. General impression about the Akoso and ring the buying na Memo Kwabani and Shasio.
Good. Me chair a funny TFO. My general impression say when in democracy no say net here. Mentimi who has to be by Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, interpret constitution. So I say be by na High Court na constitutional issue be by determination no. Omo refer to Supreme Court. Supreme Court can we asa. Into when Supreme Court a pronounce on it no. For now no, that is emra or I say Parliament it deal with Ghana for you now so. It be our only court in Yadrine, but you can't help it. It is bound, you are bound by it. Until I think, say, the democracy na yes, mukina. We and yet 2 near giant, yes, say, Emrano, said the Chilini. You'll be a friend of political question. Say, Parliament in Tiasia, almost take steps. Amend the constitution now. Yentia Hwasia Supreme Court did really about an judgment about or more can Hwasem. But apart from that in there, won't you mean now them can say emotionally or both funny I didn't know. Mean so no. Where's an say who you're unlawful. Oh na I don't want to see the Parliament, the Supreme Court at the Mraba the judgment about. Not was a media makan by me so. Then we are going to the jungle.
My uncle Amampeni, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Adodan Kwaku-Fado, no response, our day, Emma, Brenya, and by. You take a crabber.
As a rule, I've made it a point since I became president, as much as possible, not to comment on constitutional issues in the country. People who are students of our constitutional law, our constitutional jurisprudence, are very much aware of the role that I played when I was a barrister in helping define some of its basic principles of interpretation. And I think that now I become president, if every time there's a constitutional matter I'm here to pronounce on it, it will give the impression that I'm setting myself up as some sort of rival Supreme Court. And I've been very reluctant to do that for that reason, I think. The body that the Constitution has set up to be responsible for declaring the meaning of the Constitution, interpreting and enforcing it, is the Supreme Court, is the judiciary, with the Supreme Court at its apex. And as a matter of good governance, it's better that that body, which has been given this exclusive power, is the one that is heard on constitutional issues. And that's the reason why I've not been open or vocal on constitution. But I think this one, I feel strongly that I should make some comment. Firstly, the noise that was generated on this, at the time I was extremely surprised because as far as I can see it, and I think that the Supreme Court has confirmed it, the matters involved in this thing are open and shut. They're black and white. There can be no dispute about the issues that the gentleman took to the Supreme Court. It is there for anybody who wants to see. In Articles 102, Articles 104 of the Constitution makes it absolutely clear in black and white that the deputy speakers, I'm not speaking of the speaker, I mean the deputy speakers, when they're presiding, have the right to participate in the vote of the Parliament. The whole structure of the Constitution. And indeed, and I believe that would have been part of the reasoning of the court, all the legislatures of the world, where the presiding person is a member of the legislature, like our deputy speakers are, like the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States, or the President pro tem of the Senate in the United States, or the Speaker of the British Parliament. All of those have the right to speak because they are members of the Assembly. Our Speaker is expressly not a member of the Assembly. That's why he doesn't have the right to vote. In fact, he did really want not even to participate in the deliberations of the House. He's a referee, making sure that the debate is conducted properly and that the rules of procedure, the orders of the House are complied with. That's his role. But he ought, strictly speaking, not to be part of the proceedings of the House. That is not the case with the deputy speakers. And that matter is transparent on the face of our Constitution. Indeed, even the presiding members of our district assemblies, they have the right to vote. Look at the district assembly law, because they are members of the assembly. And once you are a member of the assembly, you're representing certain constituencies. If you are denied the right to vote, it will mean it is tantamount to denying the right of the people you represent to have a say in the decision of the assembly. That would not be right. So I couldn't understand what all of this furore and controversy was artificially generated.
Okay, His Excellency the President and Yatin Nka from Dubai on the ruling and a Mampeni Ekasai. Now, lawyer Michelle say hobby na ocean ruling nearby. Supreme Court judge for no cite a lot of cases. A be MPP versus Attorney General 1993, 94, JLR 35, 31st December case. Almost cited Martin Siamido versus President Kufuor and Attorney General 2001-2002, SCGLR 138. Almost cited Ghana Bar Association versus Attorney General 1995 to 1996. And also interpret here. And you can go on and go on and go on. When you're ruling Libya, Obehutu 4 versus Attorney General 1980. My instances in Libre, Afei, Konyesh versus Acha 1993 to 94. A lot of instances and interpret here, Omode Emma. And Afei young ransom nemo. Na Mesha say Hodamintio, lawyer Dominic Brenya.
You. Yeah, maybe I meet you. Say, what can be actually? What any lawyer? What does it judgment?
Lawyer, forget lawyer.
Yes.
Lawyer, your microphone be one. Whilst my mama prof so akwaba. Prof akwaba.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Lawyer microphone was setting you. Lawyer Bachafi enko.
Okay. Say assemble now the court no ehwe nyama bebre ansan ye de abua. Ye de ode ban nko a. You will be a friend of president, judicial president. The SC pen. A buyer no, DNA, the comparative analysis. Me, I say, are they on all fours or you be departed from the Supreme Court has the right. Say, I said, be a
Kessben 92 points.
This is all margin. And for say, you got hono. If you say, yeah, and when you and say near deco.
Okay.
And you create a man in a review, cry. Se bianca 7 buy so be called reviewer justice up like a reviewer be a 9 and 11 always odd number 7 for no say unanimous decision na drink or bankroom
Matisa Babin the advisor man say on call review Matisa minority for no so aka so on call review you know yeah beba review how any implications
yes
a bit to me on the issue but
but 7 no cry be chance so much on a review
okay
into the court na can basically 2 provisions in the Constitution. Article 102 and 104. And na odibu asem we say no. Say ukokota obe kan sem bebre but court no best be hwem say emu pa no mienu we na ya de say ye ka ho asem na ye de hwe ebu asem no. Na court no it's not restricted also to asem adeba yan nko a omo hwe no mo analyze a omo tumi go beyond and make statement and make we say judges made law. Judges to me make law. No law na ya yen Constitution no, and I say acts of parliament no, and I say regulations being one emra organ. Court and also interpret here in an attempt to interpret the law, no, almost to mimic law. So, inti we no was about say time biano when the pastor do send a bit come so or parliament quorum say speaker ni ho na the deputies na wo ho deputy o tie akonwa mu no ye kan say ye kan nka ho
okay
na be hwa na two parties in both sides no they didn't have a problem so much about the quorum, but baby ye ntokwa voting no.
Okay.
Yes. Internet or say na emremu so no untimi mfa bibi wa say me read we say no say na chire internet no sometimes also refer. That's why I say you must read this one in conjunction or together. No nya adwene. The Supreme Court here no say ye mra no no nka ho. Ya mra no. So they will look at the intendment. Say adwene be na ba o mo hye constitution no. Dey na no person mo ye. Because ye mra say ye de be kill missive bi. BBC a say na ye be si a resolve no. Na mentimi ho ase ba the Supreme Court is called upon to interpret, and that's what they have done. Say you to Obama na ko parliament we a member of parliament who represent constituency bi omo ene asomo asoma on se kwaka omo asemo na mo ko ye no okonya dibie bi say deputy speaker o hwa e speaker nkasa kwa speaker no onye MP on represent obi a on ye kwato aba e ma na say enu nti na ma say we a member of parliament na say you appoint to elect as a speaker also resign with seat. Honorable Right Honorable Doajago EBC at the time ya ni Obama na oye MP na ompa parliament so ye do koye speaker no so or resign from the MP no ti by election when the constituency then you become speaker qua speaker.
Okay.
That is all. But Emrano say deputy speakers no must be among the members of parliament as Oma ya to abama mu no ni obi emu mienu. So when first deputy speaker and second deputy speaker,
they shouldn't come from one party.
Shouldn't come from one party. Na ma yenya de yenya. Enti de na abamu ni say electo and I say appoint to us deputy speaker. Do you lose your right as MP when presiding at the time of presiding?
Okay.
In terms of quorum or voting. The Honorable Joe says so at ho na da Honorable Right Honorable Babi ni ho a Honorable Joe says or your MP and also your MP.
Okay.
He's still an MP.
Okay.
So those were the things I agitating mind and say Supreme Court ebam. The Supreme Court we say we lose rights as an MP. Could be na sumano. Which means at that time no be quite constituency no. You take them right from them.
Okay.
And that right is illegal. Okay. So you can't read here. Emrano say at the time members of parliament present and voting. Now if he does not lose his right as an MP, must he lose his right to vote? Because at the time or presiding. Next we're going to say no. You know when you're say now your interpretation say obi to me I change over. No so ko vote. Where sir you are disenfranchising his people. Ebi a ye koye kwan bi o be kwai. Omo na soma no. Ye kwaji loan na ba say imentim ho asebo nti o se to aba. Yes o ye koye no mom no ya konya di bia bi o nti no represent e biem. Ebi so na ono nso vote no e be ma be kwai fo nya sa kwan no. So will it be fair? Ye mra say ye dey resolve problems. Ye mra say ye dey create problems. So Supreme Court aba. Yes. Democracy there's another opportunity to go further. Only one though we call review no say anko ye amawa untimi be biom. That's all. And even for now, so be anko reviewer, that is the new law that is there.
Okay.
Now me tibi bi so anko for can say Supreme Court and as a judiciary I try to veer into the activities of the executive
said by Speaker Bagbe.
That is wrong. You see?
Or say a reckless incursion into the remit of parliament.
It is not true. There were separation of powers.
Okay.
By a side of checks and balances. The idea and just create separation of powers say, oh yeah, what they say parliament yana dia judiciary, another arm of government into no, it is not so. The constitution, article 1. Okay, say, oh yeah, almost say parliament is a master of its own rules and procedures.
I know you article 110 of the constitution.
No, and here
But Article 110 of the Constitution, no more quite say.
Right, so, yes, but you see, the regulation now, must conform to the provisions of the Constitution. What I say? So, Article 1-2 say, if let me read in show. 1-2 say, this Constitution shall be the supreme law of Ghana, and any other law found to be inconsistent with any provision of this Constitution shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. Say, why you regulations? No, now say any Constitution may be well, to the extent of the inconsistency, no, shall be void. And which organ of government has the power and the mandate, authority to pronounce on this? Is the judiciary. So how would you say they are making incursions into the work of Parliament? It is wrong. And that cliche said they are master of their rules. You know, you see, it must be within law.
I know you take 110 now. I'll say 110. Subject to the provision of this Constitution, Parliament may, by standing orders, regulate its own procedure.
Yes. I understand, but I'm saying, your standing orders, you know, must conform to other provisions, other sections of the Constitution.
Okay.
Because Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Your procedures in Parliament, it's a subsidiary thing that cannot override the provisions of the Constitution. That is where they are losing sight of.
Okay. Many lawyer Dominic Brenya, or constitutional lawyer, lawyer Chambers, no Kamaka.
Sam Okujeto and Associates.
Sam Okujeto and Associate Chamber, and a lawyer war and an pay Euro Remono. Where preamble, I feel grand yes, ye betu your boss, ruling no more. My judge forms no 70, and a buyer. Na say I was just a July a call for review or call review no the implication no and saying Nina no pay a bill kakra. I feel of course we can't take political discussion out of it. And it's Haruna Drusu a dana assembly na press conference say a Supreme Court to know strategy and now my plan say I'm the best support to the passage of e-levy or Parliament and untina abasa utie honorable apaka or say any the besi wo mrasabadwam ho na say Supreme Court ebu akora omo nso mrasabadwam omo de omo ho ndi omo be ha de oso ebema say dan du ho no nso omo ntiase a obewura mrasabadwam ho na obeka say wompene a lot of comments and ekoso ho ya mrasabadwam omo na sesha mrama me no mienu say yeni so and when it comes out like say Supreme Court ma ruling na yetie sa comment we na ye Ghana for e wachira ye na yato aba ma omo ebi ana woni sikampo so bo be sia kokurum koto aba ebi ana oso twa kwantente be 100 kilometers e fa car na wakoto aba ebi ana oso nante form na murom e be 200 meters na wakoto aba ebi ko ana wonti apo but no say o do Ghana nti okogina wiem anansuom e koto aba ma no yeso wakohye mra omo amra no bi na Supreme Court and na Supreme Court nso enya kasa na Supreme Court say mo kan yi ne nsunsuanso no ye koye nim no ene sen mampani aka so se adobre ye mfa nto form ana say ene sitie
to no ansan ye nti no ye say on a true and a proper interpretation enye reading is an
okay
what's the 102 or say the person presiding
a quorum of parliament
the person presiding
a quorum of parliament apart from the person presiding shall be 1/3 of all the members of parliament.
But in the absence of the speaker, the person presiding, is he a member of parliament or not?
He's a member of parliament.
You see? So in the same sentence, there are two conflicting. That's why the Supreme Court says on a true and proper interpretation. This constitution assumes any lawyers na. Even lawyers cry no. Sometimes somebody else, there may be an ambiguity. And that will call for an interpretation by the Supreme Court. Or to interpret the constitution. So, or say the person presiding. I mean, reading in me underlining where is be a woman said the person presiding. So that's why I make us say you must read it together with 141. So you don't read it in isolation. And sometimes you see the Supreme Court, your canons of interpretation, where you go into the intendment and what the framers of the Constitution intended to achieve. What do you mean? But what will be reasonable? What will be the purpose? So your modern purposive approach to interpretation of the Constitution. So a person presiding. So to my mind, and from the ruling that has come from Supreme Court, which I say, you were talking about the speaker, qua speaker, so them kind of speaker simplicity. So, in the absence of the speaker, if somebody is presiding, first of all, the person is also a member of parliament. But would that person lose that right because he says that he is presiding? Then it will create an absurdity. And then the interpretation is done or aimed or to achieve normalcy in the system. That's why they are called upon to interpret. Until it will not create any contradiction. So you don't read it in isolation. You read them together to achieve. Say, okay, when I'm not patched. You see, the bit of it is that it's not everything that can be written in a law. So occasion like this, gives opportunity to the Supreme Court to interpret it and say, okay, when I'm not more patched. Let me know, but this is what they intended to achieve. So until a life situation be say say okay who be say hang parliament who be be organa to buy it has become necessary for us to go into this. And you do pepper so away. And so I don't see the contradiction in here, but they have rather brought clarity. Say we know say the person presiding, you can't treat him like the speaker, no. How do a speaker suppress that constitution can say only vote and a casting vote, no. Only on vote to be cry. But because somebody has a prior position before the speakership, no, as a deputy, no, to me take that right from him. Because that person, and then you see, you also don't have to just look at the SN also the constituency. So okay, if that's the intention, and I said this the interpretation coming now, what about Nkofubi Omuni MP? Omuni represented. Now, what is it? So what I say, and it is legitimate question, but those one are not for Supreme Court to answer. It's a political question. So, see, that is what is in there.
Good morning, Honorable Okoko. This your program is very educative, and I'm enjoying the program at my base at Kede. Okay, one fedin biama. As I don't understand why our lawmakers used to condemn our court system like that, including even professional lawyers who will go to before the same court to seek for reliefs. Edi asem kureni. Paul Ami here, Takwa Western Region, and Ode Abba. Over to me to also the message about on the Supreme Court ruling. Any commenter Eba? If he Speaker Bagben, if you Mampeda, John Dramani Mahama, if he Nanadu Danko Kufado, if he parliamentarians and all, and then Yasin Kuna, Yebobo. Now I'm Samra Subio, na Yanya Jumabisia. Assuming, sir, near Binomunama Bonti or Mokeka, says Supreme Court Akasakra, Omunin to Naumbe, near so a Bema, or Bebam Nasabedam Wabes Supreme Court, near Akan or Mudebaya Jumano. Ninsusa so Mremuno, Senny City.
Okay. We hear constitution now. They do you say enforcement of constitution.
Okay.
So
I don't have a microphone.
Enforcement of constitution.
Yeah.
Now, actually, how our constitution.
Your microphone be on you, mama. Yes.
Okay. I'm not used to this. Yes. Enforcement of the constitution, and then how say it be deep and rational.
Okay.
But we hear constitution now. Article 2.4 of the Constitution. Okay, we started 2.2. The Supreme Court shall, for the purpose of a declaration under Clause 1 of this article, make such orders and give such directions as it may consider appropriate for giving effect or enabling effect to be given to the declaration so made. Then any function on my perform war, case we say mono. Then it goes further and says, any person or group of persons to whom an order or direction is addressed under Clause 2 of this article by the Supreme Court shall duly obey and carry out the terms of the order or direction.
Okay.
Until you are compelled to
obey.
Then 4, failure to obey or carry out the terms of an order or direction made or given under Clause 2 of this article constitutes a high crime under this Constitution, and shall, in the case of the President or the Vice President, constitute a ground for removal from office under this Constitution.
That's a Mampeni and Anna Bidiache. Supreme Court to Maruli no more in Nisua. I won't quite see a Pambo Mufia.
Grounds for removal.
Okay.
So then, Obusawe 5, no? Yeah. I want to now walk on. A person convicted of a high crime under Clause plus 4 in failure to obey. No.
Okay, there's a Supreme Court case
Somewhere
in this one. So I would say in this one.
It constitutes a high crime.
Okay.
Then it's giving you.
That's why a Bonicassi.
All right. Yes. A person convicted of a high crime under clause 4 of this article shall be liable to imprisonment not exceeding 10 years without the option of a fine, and B, not be eligible for election or for appointment to any public office for 10 years, beginning with the date of the expiration of the term of imprisonment.
But I hope it's okay.
Unto us, say Supreme Court ma orders, directions be. Oh, we say Supreme Court ma order. My direction say Senate.
Okay.
Nti Deputy Speaker, it to be voted. You can't take quorum.
Okay.
We say me find you. So the direction now I interpret the constitution no enforcement of the constitution no also find to do yes so yes sir. It constitute high crime.
Okay.
Say the president and vice say the okay no grounds for removal from office.
Okay.
Now any other person or group of persons mean so, which includes these MPs themselves.
Okay.
Say you so you be kontokwa and if you say you between resolve any disagreement and a dispute to a parliament and that this article no or say if you are found under clause 4 which is a failure now first no we be kwa them if you say 10 years and no option of a fine so you to mean more keke ni nya 10 years simplicity
there's a better about card wakotum
okay no option of a fine
there's a you to mean ka say you fine 1,000
now
2,000 but what the answer say judge be obetra so be answer kodam fiedu
yes or say for a period not exceeding 10 years so it could be 2 years
okay
it could be 5 years or anything from a day to 10 years
okay
and or say we are ada or sentence by expire no if you run for 10 years running no want to mean standing for any to me holding any public position be election
the ban better also
yes
okay
nti that ho sunsuaso no nti say na provoke no emotions asam court na bia wo de ususu o trimu no anko say de wo pena definitely wo ye nipa be ya but that is where also we show maturity say oh I disagree with the Supreme Court because obi ye nipa omo krom timi say some adwene I disagree with them but I will obey. What do you think I say me no munya adwene nti no me dem kwai dem pe. But it's also unfortunate say these things are coming from MPs. Omo ya to abamom say mo na mo hyemra maye. Na mo so mu ni so no mo nam kodwa so. Obi on nam tema station circle. Ono so nya den.
Okay.
What signals are we sending to the populace?
Okay.
It is not good. And then one dangerous trend is also going on. They say bastardizing state institutions. Unfortunately, in fact, I'm a judge je crime say nyama kono. Do you know why? Because
na say me say ke do kwa koye me.
Daddy me nyanu. But you see, say you can't kasa boase because we are giant to mean kasa you can't some to mean yano.
Okay.
To want say you can't some matos.
And the politicians are taking advantage of that.
That's what they are doing.
And omode near be because it look as if say if you don't belong to their class party A, party B, you are nobody. You know, they can sit anywhere and tell you the omo pe bia. If you are not part of omo political idea, no say party A and B, it happens across the political parties, the political divide. In the bet me up to baby, no, I cannot just like that because in the name of political party.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous for this country.
Yeah, who be that political parties they in someone court my dear or judge or president now what judgment team. Oh, those days. You be okay appointed CJ Kra Ghana by so through somebody at the court. Ni na wo ho. Manti me really say na na ye super judges. Say asam no kona anko de omo pedia and then either you paint you green or black or red and blue. Apart from that no so akogisika and I say be as omo ni adwene. Me what unfortunately obi a woni mra no bibia common sense. Law no yes common sense but you see it goes beyond common sense.
Okay.
Who within inside? There's a spirit and a letter of the Constitution. And to mean just adding verbs and adjectives and adverbs office and one we read what you say. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
And he said, you see, the court is the bastion of hope of the ordinary people. So if you bastardize almost some time no one year,
especially when it's coming from lawmakers.
You see, and even some lawyers. Oh, who talk to judge? Nobody I don't know. So be the mic is in of one. Now I don't know. Probably na kind na I can't go for it, you know. Then in Sebia, the baby are no omoka. It is not good. As I you lose in trust. Because so what say cool ba baby the only institution na a saving institution is the judiciary.
Okay.
And yes, say Obia ne mentimi wase bia ba man mu a ba bia ye court. Na ye court ni say ya.
There's a coup d'etat see or might be more. Baby didn't can compile parliament.
Yes.
Now about executive one. I thought be a judge in a crowd there, you manipulate too more, but I huna kakra.
And ye wo.
Now we take him
the structure no is.
And sometimes a lawyer walk of fast maba. And no many penny bidding kobo. And now me be question say, manisu sumana so. And the politicians are on opportunity akwa abemu in court. I fuck when you be so we are gonna sikaye da pade ne ade. Nebi I thought there be omu fi say omu ni abem, and I thought there be omu fi say be in corner say ni omu pe. Ntie na nkaku kura ba ya na nkaku kura ba no. And that's MPP and NDC and other political parties think say. So assuming say soldier ni manu susum na so fatua. And yes timem for no be so na mo politicians no be bam so. Because omu adwin bi omu team say especially MPP and NDC no for years omu adwin bi from 92 ba say be Ghana aye bia na emo a. And the mona mo ya no say mo kro na mo frɛ omu so omu mra. Esi a mo na mo bebre o.
Who say make say kusi baby a. Man say kusi Ghana ha. Nkokra nkohu. But say unnim
Kessben 92.9.
Selfishness and greediness.
Okay.
Of on people's part say to even think self person because when you ban one and say to think say kunsi. When you nim kunsi so.
I say on your bem kra na ba on be frɛ afra.
No, I some can. So we say obi office say oh you best support to omo.
And on be tra so on ka so on be frɛ mo.
Na wait sorry. No kra omu kra say me can say. Okay, I don't want to use Ghana as an example. Say ku esi oba bi mo a. Politicians are those who get out of business.
And I'm making
One any business biem because you may not have the chance to be a politician. You may not have the chance to be part of decision making. All lies in the bosom of the military.
Or the janta, the proprietors of the coup.
I'm telling you. And about this, one time because I made the person work on so person could be coming like enyame and you know say and not me one
person coming near do for the pen.
Enyame say and your fans says your mind.
okay.
Look, I always say this, say, in a democracy, me, if you're me free, there's no way I can be a leader. Said, Nanka, way democracy, I wouldn't so much be a president one day. For democracy, you want to be a president, but you have the hope, say, as long as you are using democracy, or Chinebi, who are now say, Papa Brenya, and I said, I can become a president. Because any royal system, any monarchy, what I say, but Yajatum as our mind said, we are going to run our governance with democracy. And say, yeah, Mama Yisa, Nyamaya a threat, Emma democracy in free. Now, Emmy, ya, they become Emmy, ya, pass it, lawyers. Now, one a casa about verdict. Now, one personal, emotions, account. Oh.
Remember when the exercise, you know, now they are no see baby. Now sometimes it's so minimal. And yeah, when we have a lawyer for Tina maybe so. What's your interpretation? And now besides, is he interpreting a law or is he interpreting a political statement?
See, I do me so be a and we be who the any panic cancer.
Okay.
Say, oh, preach you. So, say, oh, your campaign, because. And then the other you say, you probably didn't have idea and you on it half on your oh, it's a great say, and then so be a by police way be a support no. Obinia by police way be a wrong. Oh, and the air quite it is not right. But it's and now say first and I need opportunity to speak to the people. And then the Aquenya, I catch a casacha manful. And also you take opportunity to educate people than the air can. Nti o se mo amoyen so ntrofo yin so no mo fro bia ho se we say no o ye pure politics and na say o kira the intellectual analysis no o ye obo how to be say okay politics no o ye enye apart from emotions no the emotion in there no politics
okay
the now ya kafra to hu say the pano one friend so a lawyer but the can no do ubusa ni mu say the ya ubusa me say ha say no say the prof ubusa me na o tie ha na ye kasa but o say me ti bia we say no watch them. So, and no one feels a man call for Motia or Mosunia lawyers. No,
okay.
Bema, I owe de.
Lawyer, the trend I did, your general legal counsel. Or notice will be petition woman. and now one to take comment in Libya on betting afraid because you are here. Ebi another MPP also China NDC in Swaba, China be a CPP, that party for fraud. Na manso train I say more court to the end Chamuda. Maybe a Mokasa Kasa ya na could do point to be a lady as a member. Who is a then I'll say.
Na general can phone say you my free. And then lawyer cry bonny sanction na and also politics. Yes, I be super ma hromo. Mpanyimfo bi o. Ebi wait 80 years, ma practice more than 50 years. Then next say yeah, the moral fabric of society is broken down. And now I call him Mupanyin. And now say, Obi Okran, Obi China, dear. And office or channel because of opportunity to expand. Now, the other name is say, Obi Kotan Facebook, office on your can law. You can't run or courtroom in Facebook. Near the other to know where you expect because Facebook law. Omkokota. Na, and so I ask him for free. And the other general crown, or say almost Omkran, if you say, Omkran, Mabamu. So, because there are so many things I call so if you say I'll see a day sanity a bad system.
I thought I've been so hard their friend of bedroom for our supporters to know, sir. I dare not say that TSA in the let's say something. So be on the bomb and be behind the scenes in the Adrian forward.
Oh yes. Say a man come for her. Or send the panic now we'll see I will be answer or Casabia be or Casabia, you be who know. And I'm maybe and then I'm so from her. One no yapa ni ma post. So the panel be chat near target to be say wo ye no adwuma. They say football na ma be say man close marking. Nto ma wo bi. About politics.
Okay.
Me feel say is here dey kakran ye. But see ano abrante bia ke bia no obi a political actors ni bia no wo ye ya na dwene say me nya bibia me so e be recognize me e chena bi. Into that's what is going on. Into ni pan ya dey about you see we ya dey so hwe wo da achi wo chena. Say ade a me ye o chena bi internet no we mfi asem de obeya e be twra to no ye chena bi ko puliba o transfer one we feel say o ye ade papa minim say politicians ni bi o mo MPCC a young guys ni bi a o mo out no first no man ye ipa ba say o ma twenty o ya o say ka so we amateur pa now nti I think say kakra be ye but the economy dey say ya so no ntema it won't help.
Okay. Lawyer Dominic Brenya okujato Sam Okujato, okay, Sam Okujato Chambers, and a discussion on the Supreme Court ruling and the matters arising from Parliament. And about no, thank you very much. Yes, so lawyer, I said, man, say about Supreme Court for the friend judicial review and reviewer. Then a bit to me about, then a bit to me see. I mean, you.
Okay, review no, it is Supreme Court is the highest and the last court of the land.
Okay,
into no. It is a OYP or Kessben, but when you're more mankasa, then when there's a reviewer, it means that or send numbers they did become. We normally 7 because a constitutional matter, or 2 in a become 9 and I say 11 and I 13 as the Supreme Court may decide.
Okay.
Now review no so okay also there must be head will be also cross and review as some crown much it is worth considering.
Okay. Or
say who say be a judgment on their no.
Into this case study, case at the whole any review no. What should we expect? Educate young kakra.
Na me ma way preparation I shall say would acquire also meet standard be say there was a clear error. Also satisfy court no. And so much question no. Yes, someone waste your time crank so much to the
I see.
So also we meet that thing. Yes, the Panico Supreme Court. You see, litigation sometimes has come to an end. But this is not ordinary case, a free High Court, but the Supreme Court. With the Supreme Court, but normally no review is not just as simple as we say. Oh, review. If we should say idea grounds not be no. Then yeah, idea also Supreme Court. Yeah, on about to go.
Okay.
So you can be other cases. Then review no we know unanimous decision. Se bi an ka 4-3 we say there's a hope say you the 2 be come na 9 2 ni nyina ba ka 3 ne ho na ko 5-4.
Okay.
But we know 7 unanimous. It may be say 7 ni bi no between say o ma dwan ko ka o ma say bi a ye ne we say ni nya adwene no, but it is very difficult rare say it me sisa. It is not that as simple. Now me yes sure say the way it is who say just one judgment. Yes, be will be so. Me no ya conclusion, but me so me fan baby. On the Justice Yoni Koledi Kwan Troye, and they all agreed. Obia adwena amfa baby say we agree with you.
Okay.
That is it. So sometimes if ya yes we try and we say so try bibi kakra me kwa manka bi ozu kan bibi kakra. So we
they sent in there no.
We they had nothing to add. I won't say nothing useful to add. They had nothing to add. Into we call review now 9 no. When say 2 never can be a 9 and I say 11 or 4 never can. Omo nyina ko fa ko say bia judgment we no mo nya adwe kra na 7-4. So I don't foresee say anything will change substantially. I said we say na yaka no. Ebema bibi asesa judgment we bibi asesa. So for now no, this is what we have. Rather now our advice say parliament no should take steps. Say it creates confusion. Say obiti one sorry. There's even a scenario say assume say only one deputy speaker may available for a vote. Or sorry, I want to no vote aba. So into so those absurdities maybe no. I feel no mko yi omu ba come na be preside na wako vote no ya say change over na say dey. And no say ya some wo. But Supreme Court no see the other thing that we are not adverting my mind. Supreme Court no yes, or ya dey be ya confusion ma. But or within the law. It is say if you say to my no near representatives in parliament if you say we no be create a year, we should do a clear amendment of the constitution through the right process and amend it. So then in law, your friend political question, then parliament will do something or undo something.
That's a parliament now so bet me amend this portion.
Yeah, law amend it through the right process.
Okay.
If say it's an entrenched, the process must be followed. If it's not entrenched, then is there a simple amendment in parliament which will be assented to by the president? No way. So then you undo what Supreme Court has done. We will say presidential transition act no. Me was in a chiro mo yes how long ni bi. On one minute say we was the court to say you appoint a board member. No Bank of Ghana president for time. Or board member. Na say a term of 4 years president no if you so cry or term no encore into no. You can't just reconstitute the or we know a high court. You when omo declare law about say the appoint on okwa onu neko these people.
Okay, so Kujato.
Yes.
Okay.
The president most time and I'm was the case no court near winning no yes and law no.
Okay.
Now unfortunately for you know omo you should be here na be there to this and letters you for say oh because of section 13 of this you know.
Okay.
The appoint on control neko.
Interesting. Now Dominic Brenya and Motini Kano me beba prof for na yahwe. Mama said this kakra or YouTube main kind kakra mamum. Charles Aduan so was I call complete star lawyer who is my senior in school, Okes. That we are proud of him watching you live from London. But I will make to be a friend of Charles Adu Asari. Okay, no.
Yes.
I will say to senior high school.
Yes.
Then it's about to say.
No, correct.
And Charles, special good morning to you. You have 3 minutes to wrap up the show. Lawyer. What do you have a camera, Sam? But Obino Kels, when you're about to see the enemy on the Kakra. And when you're about to see the enemy on Satum Kakra, Mamintio, on the MPP internal elections near the day. And 2 minutes been there.
The costume in the M1.
Kessben.
Now, if you send a party, dear, you see a friend, the Patadonia, dear party.
Okay.
Cool. No, be so Obama, I said, there be. In fact, I started police station. Even time almost started, say, or more new membership drive near you know. Obo ehwe dem se bia wo ba mu a wo MPB a o prayer na so onya ye wo hard into form no kan no mo bi obi age form na kwese ne dem
ai suppression of power ye hwe onim so na da che onya mpia betimi adi.
Yes me abobuga
na se bia wo future bi se bia o we betimi adi position bia omo committee om so ye mfa kwan business akwa we kura no ye nyini film ye sideline no it's all going on there.
Yes
ehwe onim na onya mpia bedi a ehwe ase kwa me hwe no mo ma so onya mpia obedi. You have a near sideline, Nina, a part of
no, I come on. I do and now President Kufo can say Mr. Power can trick you. No, it's still no MPP before if he said Omunyanya the import of it.
Okay.
A BS Sida. Now pardon, Marco position 8 years must have been more. Muslim breaking the 8 in when you break it.
Kessben.
So well Obi how MPP die hard MPP supporter say when then uncle NDC. But then what will happen is a protest vote. Uncle Twaba. The MWN in no. Ebenya susu in 2024. And also mujuno. Now executives no office on positions kakra no mo sisi no. I escalated to the MP no. And would be presidential candidate no almost sponsor into omo yes way no omo hwe bibi
okay
we betu enya wom but it will take you to opposition
okay
so bibi say the ba kuma say ya omo ka so amendment omo anya omo hwe grounds na omo ya enye nti omo anya no
am so omo dey kwose kokko ma koya bay
ba say what happened to all card-bearing members being allowed to vote and elect people those places me am make as ma could do nothing okoje form on do nya form ni bi o feel o de ko o say position na ko no say dem me pay we and the form ni e free oh pay we say omo yin free oh take a picture of the form now feel here
and also na ebejina few messages 1 minute to wrap up the show na yadama say John Boadu